What makes a city not just a bunch of atomized blocks and buildings. This is what makes it into a social organism.
Walking to the school every morning, we always passed this one street man. We'd walk the little guy, my little 5-year-old, at the time he was 5, to kindergarten. And the 9-year-old, he didn't want to walk with his parents to school at this point. He just wanted to walk alone to school. You know, he wanted to be a tough guy. And the only way I could feel really good about that, being in New York and new to New York and that, is to let him go 5 minutes before me, and then once he went, I would go and bring the little one. And he would actually take his own money out and drop a quarter in the guy's cup. The older guy just kind of took my son under his wing and just watched out for him to make sure that he'd get to school. And each time I would walk, he would report to me each day, "Yes, ma'am." And he'd pretend to look at a fake watch on his arm. And he would tell me how many minutes had passed before Ty had passed for school. You never know who's going to be your guardian angel.
Did you ever find out his name?
No. Boy, that's a really good question.
She just loves to come. She comes all the way out from Jersey. That's a special custom of mine. When she comes, you gotta make sure you have the right stuff on. She stacks up.
I'm into fashion layouts, and they always have the best stuff. Better than all the back issue plate houses, and they're more inexpensive, and you're helping someone out.
Love when she comes around, and she don't even complain about the money. And then she gives me a tip still.
I hope you're not glamorizing them. They are a scourge on the city. It really doesn't look good to have street peddlers. Come here some morning at 8 o'clock when these things have been left overnight.
I do think it makes the neighborhood seem more chaotic.
Whose rent are these guys paying? Nothing.
It's unfair competition for the person who has done the conventional thing, rented a store, is paying utilities, paying taxes, paying minimum wage.
What about the fact that they block people from walking down the street? Street peddlers are something that we in the city can have a little bit higher attitude about.
I'm here to make $1. I don't care. I'm not here to like nobody. They ain't got to like me. A lot of people, they give you that attitude, like you're not nothing.
A few people are like that,
It's like really hard to make a living out here because you have to deal with this constantly.
But we could be doing something, though. Something that's not, like this, and it'd be worse if that's the point. Because a lot of us can, we done came out of, jails or whatever.
And I've been to jail. I did 5 years of my life in jail, straight 5 years. Come on. I used to do the wild thing, man. Rob, steal, everything, man. But sometimes you got to take that life and turn it over because you see that you ain't winning in that area.
I feel good that they have some way to make a living. But if you said to me, is that the ideal way we want people to be able to make their living, the answer is no.
In Paris, along the banks of the Seine, we have what we call bouquinistes. They were present at least since 1628 and started pretty much by very poor people without resources that scavenged. During all this time, they became more and more part of society and are now integrated. It's now pretty much middle-class occupation.
Merci beaucoup. Voilà. Il était une fois Napoléon Ier, dont il paraîtrait que justement Napoléon Ier, pour aider les miséreux et leur donner un peu la possibilité de manger et de pouvoir habiter quelque part, leur a proposé de s'occuper des vieux papiers, des vieux bouquins, de les faire circuler en les vendant sur les quais, justement. Avec des boîtes comme ça? Pas du tout. Au début, ils étaient avec leur brouette à déposer leurs bouquins là et à tout mettre dans la brouette le soir même, la charrette, et à rentrer chez eux avec.
The bouquinistes in Paris have benefits, as all the other French people, that provides healthcare for everyone pretty much for free, that provides all kinds of subsidies and just a social structure of help for everyone who is in difficulties or borderline being disenfranchised.
In recent years, the U.S. population has imprisoned close to 2 million individuals. On 6th Avenue, we've had men who work here who have felony convictions for drug offenses. You have a felony conviction, it makes it almost next to impossible to get housing. And furthermore, they carry the stigma of a person with a criminal record, so it is next to impossible to find work.
When you have the fuck it and I don't give a damn attitude, you don't care about anything anymore except for your drinking and drug, because everything is so down. Your financial stability is shot. Your family status is shot. You can't get a job. You couldn't even climb up the ladder, you know, even if you tried. Jemani took me in. He knew I drank, but he wouldn't give me money for drink. But he said, Marvin, you need something to eat. He'd always care for me. It was cold one day, and he just came out of the clear blue sky and said, Marvin, you got to come on home with me, because what you're doing, you're going to wind up dead out here. What I do with Ryan, I just, you know, pull his coattail and put him under my wing. Sometimes he go on the upper surge, he'll stay sober, or at least he'll make money and he'll put it away. But now he's on an everyday binge, and he's not doing his normal hunting to get stuff. Relationship between Ron and I has been so long, it's hard to break it up. I'm serious. It's hard. But you ever considered it? I'm considering it now. I'm mad at you. Hold on, Carter. You're mad at yourself. Wait, hold on. I'm mad at you, man. I come out my house this morning and they tell me you're fucking up. Fucking up. You come out my house this morning, man. For relatives? No. These motherfuckers, man. You gotta take it easy. They be owing money to drug people, man. One guy owed him money for over a year, over 300. I want to know the secret. The secret is, Ron, you got the means to do what you want to do. I'm addicted to crack cocaine. Take care of yourself, Ronnie. I'm addicted to anything that I use. Right now, that's why I'm going into a program to do something about it. That'd be the greatest thing that could happen to me right now. Stop using. Even when you go to the program and come out, you're still going to think about it, but you're not going to want to go do it because you know where it had you already. I live with my aunt, and that's one of the reasons why I had to get into the program, because the housing authority, they don't want no drug addict in the building. You know, it's time for me to stop anyway. I'm sick and tired of getting high. What it's going to do for me is going to stop me from getting high uptown, where I live at. If you can't get by your door, you can't get into your apartment building without passing a gauntlet of people standing up there. Yo, man, I got it, man. I got niggas, man. I got dimes, man. Yo, man, you ain't bought nothing for me long now. Yo, man, look at this shit, man. That's where I need help the most. How to deal with these people when I get off the train, when I go home with money in my pocket from working all day out here.
It's $10. It's a pleasure. This is the smallest apartment in Manhattan for 3 weeks.
And how many people live in there?
We have 5 altogether. It's got a little kitchen sink, but no bathroom facilities in there. It's a $45 treatment since it's Christmas Eve. I pay rent to the people who administer this community garden.
The sidewalk, the law says it has to be 48 inches to pass. When we get busy here, it's very hard to maintain. Occasionally, someone has to stop and wait for a second, to get by. And if I'm showing a tree there, occasionally they have to slow their step, but it's not a problem.
The Christmas tree vendors, yes, they take up street space, but you got to bear in mind that it's only for a little while, a few weeks.
There's all kind of businesses around here that love to have us come and just use their bathroom. Philippe Bonsignor over at the gourmet shop loves to have us come in and use the employee room.
I just bought some filet mignon and a puzzle for Henry.
Mom, look, I got my kids' paperclip pad.
Well, it's like a real community spirit here. People know each other, they look out for each other, and once they saw we were part of the scene, they started looking out for us, too.
You going soon?
Yeah, midnight.
Okay.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. So good to see you. If it's nighttime or something, we have the keys to 4 or 5 apartments in the neighborhood. People have come and dropped off their keys and let us use their apartment.
Like in these buildings?
Yeah, like in that building there and the second one down there. Just really nice people who've adopted us.
Which one do you like, Henry?
That one?
Did the first person who you got the keys from, did they know you for many years before they gave you the keys?
No, the first day.
The first day?
The first day we arrived. Someone, was attracted to the baby, started talking, found out what we were doing. And she said, you got to come over and use our bathroom and use our shower, use our kitchen. Here's the keys.
I drink a lot of beer. I drink sometimes 15 to 20 hours of beer a day. Sometimes 25 hours a day, every day. So that beer keeps flushing. You got to have somewhere to go. So these people in the store, they're not gonna let you go in there. I don't have to pay to go to the bathroom with this. I ain't been in my own bathroom, going to the cup. Cup is better. But you got to know what you're doing when you're holding the cup. You don't know what you're doing when you're holding the cup. Like in the cab at the same time, you might get wet up. I'm in the bathroom right now.
Do the road. No.
So this how I flush it.
I always try to find, a nice little corner behind a tree, around something.
I left my table a couple times today because I was down here by myself. I didn't have my partner working with me, and I had to go around the corner and urinate. It's like a van like this. I go between them, and I try not to pee in anybody's car. I didn't see nothing wrong with peeing against the building because it's like a tree. Dogs always pee by the buildings all the time. I'm not peeing right now. I'm just showing. You can turn yourself in. You can hide from the public. This is another place where people used to get high too at nighttime. When they want to smoke crack, they'll come over here and they'll have somebody stand there and they'll go over here and they'll smoke.
The need for public bathrooms is urgent in an urban environment. The public bathroom became so broken down, so disgusting, that nobody would use it. It turns out to maintain a public bathroom is a very, very expensive thing. The bathrooms that are available in restaurants and things are often closed to people who aren't customers there.
I don't care. I'll go in an establishment and buy something. Once I buy something, I can use your bathroom.
What happens if it's late night, like about 11 o'clock? You're very busy. Tonight is going to be a very busy night. It's Saturday night. You got to go to the bathroom. You got to take a pee. What are you going to do?
I'm by myself, so I make pee in the bag and I throw in the dumpster.
No, that's what we all do. So you got to do something. There's no bathroom back there, right?
At the end of the day, it'd be a simple thing to do. The technology exists, the equipment exists. It's very successful in Europe and it's sort of commonplace. San Francisco did it. San Francisco has tremendous success with it. It is a sort of point of tourism pride that the Deco public toilet is in the toughest neighborhood, in the best neighborhood. The homeless use them. Obviously, parents with small children understand the need, but everybody uses them, and it works.
Almost all of the magazine vendors, scavengers, panhandlers are black. There are a lot of reasons why they're here, some of which are economic, social, political. The Business Improvement District can come up with ingenious solutions such as beautiful bookstalls that they can put on the street or public bathroom. But these solutions are not going to address and or solve the larger social problems that have brought many of us to the street to begin with.
Time is now 5 o'clock. The parade will start at about 6:45. That point, as far as the World Trade Center down there, we plan on moving these barriers out late in the half. So I hope you all have a wonderful time. Well, thank you.
There's no books selling on Halloween Day. The streets have to be clear.
You cannot have no tables up here at 3 o'clock because the cop will tell you got to remove your stuff. So I already did mine last night about 1 o'clock. I went to a sacred spot called a church. There's two ways to make money when a holiday come around. You can't sell no books, so you got to get some fake.
Gathering for the Halloween parade. People pay $5 to $10 a crate just to stand on so they can see the parade. Money, money, money.
First one and the last one. Thank you. Now this is gonna turn into a dollar bill.
I got a whole load of crates coming in.
Where'd you get the crates?
Oh, the meat market.
Grand Union, A&P, from the guy in the flower shop. Supermarkets, little stores.
The parade is over. The whole goddamn block will be full of crates out here. What you gonna do with them then? You take them back to the stores and resell them back to them for $3 a crate.
6. 28. That's $155. You know the last crate always go for more.
Sell everything.
They weren't pilfered from somewhere.
Hey, the Derby boy. You too can have the same dude that I have. It could be $10 in 10 minutes. Entrepreneurs, can I get a receipt? Brother, I'm not trying to see you. I'm just saying, son. Come on. Good looking. Come on. Oh, shit. A license? Who said a license?
If you look south on 6th Avenue, you used to be able to see the Twin Towers, otherwise referred to as the World Trade Center. Many of us could tell the weather by looking at those Twin Towers. If the top of those buildings were enveloped by clouds or what have you, we knew that rain was coming and we had to start to pack up.
I ain't never seen nothing like that my whole life, man. Never. I ain't want to see it no more. If people start crying, you know, outside the walls, start crying, and little babies start crying, mama look.
Did you cry?
Yeah, I shed a few tears, yeah.
The smell lingered for months. There was a desolation in the streets because people just did not want to come down here. Mayor Giuliani ordered no traffic from river to river below 14th Street. People who lived below those blocks had to have identification so the police could check to determine whether or not they lived here. A lot of the booksellers suffered because there was nobody here to buy anything.
$1 a piece. Brand new. $1 a piece for masks right here.
Where'd you get the masks from?
The hardware store down there. The guy in the hardware store tell me to make some money. I make some money, bring him back, got to pay it. Okay. Masks over here. Masks over here. $1 a piece. $1 a mask.
$1, yeah. There you go.
$1.
I don't like you profiting off of this, but I'll take one.
I appreciate it, miss. I'm hungry. He said $1 a piece. $1? Okay, go get one free then. Why you tell me about it? $1 a piece on the masses. Okay.
Two?
$1 on the master. $1 piece.
That's a red pork, my man. We going to war.
Yeah, we go on the wall, all right.
Just give them away.
No. That's money. That's $30 a box.
What's the word on much? I have sold out.
You shouldn't be selling this.
Pay for them.
The whole
I know, but find
Yeah, you got another one?
No, no more. That's all sold out. It's sold out.
You sold out already?
Where are you going to get more from?
We got to go back to the hardware store.
You're not going to stay out here tonight, are you?
I'm going to stay out all night long as I make some money. I need some money. Come on, look at the bill.
A lot of the guys that I work with on 6th Avenue, what their prospects are for moving into the formal economy, I think is 50-50. The mindset of working on the street becomes so ensconced that after a while, it becomes a very, very difficult thing to break. It has to do where the individual is and the kinds of ties, family ties, social ties, communal ties, or economic ties they have to a lot of other folk. Fortunately for me, I never severed the relationships that I had with people who, were formal economy. And I remember sending my resume out. The question is, well, what did you do the last 7 years? I did the best that I could when I wrote this resume up. And basically, I worked on the street selling books and this sort of thing. I guess these people must have thought this guy must be insane or something. And Stephen Greenwald, who was the president of Ovie Carter, he gave me a chance when I think a lot of other people would have simply foreclosed on that.
It's really bad, I'm thinking about quitting, Maybe I should just sell out. My husband, right now, we've been divorced for almost 20 years. In between, we get in touch with each other. And one day he decided that, he's single, I'm single. So he offered me a reasonable offer. If we can settle down together, we can get married again. I decided, I think, it's time to move on. I live in Virginia Beach. And where is that? Virginia Beach, Virginia. I got lost in looking for the bank, and I asked the direction, but they told me the wrong direction, and I make a right turn. I end up in 7-Eleven asking for the direction. I met this nice Filipino people, and they asked me if I needed a job. I said, yeah. And they offered me a job, and the next day they called me for interview. And I still like my life in the street, my independence in the street. I still love it, and I still miss it until now. When I was in Virginia for 3 months, I'm not working, I'm in the house. I've been looking at the window, and my God, I don't know if I can survive this, after